Simon, we notice in the last few days, Chelsea's owners, and we've had a tilt at them because it's gone pear-shaped to say the least. We being you. They decided to address the fans in an open letter. In fact, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Communication is always a good thing, but does it need to come with some degree of substance? Our promise was to you to make our fans proud. We remain completely committed to the long-term and sustainable success of the club. And fulfilling that promise we made to you. We knew the huge potential. We must grow to develop Chelsea. And it's a role that we take seriously. Everybody's working here relentlessly, focused on driving us forward. For the men's team, it's been disappointing. Yada, yada, yada. Well, yada, yada, and on it goes. You know, instead of this, it made me think, what? Instead of letters like this and maybe a lack of substance in them, should we not, right across the board, the Premier League clubs, have end-of-season press conferences with the owners who tell us, well, that was good, or that was a bunch of crap, or that didn't go as well as it should have done? Jim. In other words, should there not be a kind of, I don't know, State of the Nation address involving the owners to the media to get the message out to the fans? This wasn't good enough. This is good enough. We're building an X and we've a lot more to build on Y. In other words, it's an opportunity for the media to ask these owners the right questions, judging, of course, as to how they finish the seasons.
I think there's an interested point in that from being able to use it for media cycles. But if you're an owner of a football club, there's no necessity for you to do that because your actions will always supersede your words. So no one can question that they want Chelsea to do well. Yeah. Right. They spent £2.5 billion doing it. They spent £600 million on transfers, £20 million on compensation fees to get a manager out of a club to sling him out the door. They've gone for the most favoured person around in Europe at this moment in time, that he gets his name indexed to every job every time a job comes up with a big nature. So they're doing their bit. So they are.
We'll continue to ensure your voices are heard as we look to the future. How are they doing that? Well, they're just sticking out a letter.
Well, I mean, what do you want them to do then?
Well, that's what I mean.
Do you think it's sitting to a bunch of media guys that are going to turn it into 17 different stories because it can fill content for them is any way, shape or form beneficial to the fans?
Ask the questions the fans want to be asked.
Well, like what? What would you ask him?
Well, like, how come you spent so many millions in that transfer window and you made us worse? Why should we believe in you?
Fine.
Why didn't you buy a centre forward?
I suppose these are questions that they could all ask and be answered. I guess there's some merit in some of those questions. Well done, Lukey. That's great.
But this should be in the open letter, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of open letters.
We decided to play out the bulk of the season without an out-and-out striker.
What didn't
go too well, did it?
What you're asking for is the media to be used as the executioner to hold the individuals accountable, and to be the message and to be the method of delivery for the fans' ira. And clearly, the owners will see things probably the same way as the fans have seen it. Yeah. And you'll see the rectification of it. So what you really need to do is put out a letter saying, we got it, we get it, next year we'll be better. What you want, and what the media would like, is the ability to be able to have this information because they can turn it into 17 different media cycles, fill content.
No, it's about holding the owners to account.
Well, no, it's about media content.
No, it's about holding the owners to account.
It's about media content, but also the benefit of it might be that the fans get some more information. But let's not confuse the agendas of media. Yeah. Media is about serving media, and the content method of delivery gives them an outcome that maybe the fans will get some benefit from. If I'm an owner, I wouldn't be averse to it because I wouldn't have anything to hide. I wouldn't have anything to be concerned about, and I'd say we made these decisions because of that. We made these decisions because of that. But then again, I would also not necessarily feel that I had the need to utilise the media to do that. I would go into the pre-season, employ a manager, make him front and centre. Because let's be clear, there's a school of thought which says we want the owners in the background, best owners in the background. We only hear from the owners when there's a problem, really. We only want to hear from the owners when there's a problem. Really what we want is a focused football team, and we want the manager to be the front of the football club, and we want to listen to their brand of information.
Yeah, the manager does what he's paid to do and fronts up to the media all season long. Yeah. But then, if you like, an end of season report, let's have the owners in front of the media.
Yeah, I understand why you want it. And I understand why the media would want it.
Media would want referees doing the same thing.
No, that's during a season. I don't want a referee at the end of the season doing a post-season report on what the referees have done.
No, you want it throughout the season, obviously.
Well, no, I think it's a good thing to see. I think the referee should have a voice.
Yeah.
And I think there should be an element of accountability.
So we're asking the owners to do one.
Well, you're asking the owners to be accountable to the media under the masquerade of you're doing it for the fans.
under the masquerade.
You
of
know
doing
you're
it
not
for
doing it
the
for the fans. You know what it means. You know it means. Got little Luke out there with his cat that he strokes, concocting some awful dark set of analysis
Just
so we can put in our schedule.
Get the owners in front of the media and say, well, okay.
This is the merit. There is some merit in it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
I just got there in the end. If I was there.
All right.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.